The following program is for entertainment and educational purposes. Anything taken out of context is your own fault. The following program is not sponsored. The following host does not sound like this in real life.
I was making racks. I was counting stacks. Every day I would try to figure out how it would last. I was always think about your whole damn past. When did she think about that same nigga that would make it crash? You a goof. I send this whole spoof. Never understand.
And welcome everybody to another episode of the Waddy Talk podcast. I had no idea. First of all, coming to you via YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, etc., wherever you listen or stream this show. I had no faith in this show, and I had no faith that you guys would actually pay attention to it the way you do, which is interesting. From the top of my heart, I really want to say thank you. You guys kind of make it possible, even if it's 8 of you. And yeah, I'm not really one of those who's offended by if you watch the show or not. I've got career goals, and I'm trying to make them, and I want things, I want something for myself, so, I keep that in mind. So, but anyway, I want to thank you guys. It seems like about 300 of you, close to it, pay attention to this show, so I can't even count 300 people, if you want to be honest. I could, but that's a lot of time. So, but I do want to say thank you. You have to excuse me just a little bit. Got a little bit of something in my throat. Don't know what, but after this, I will go and drink some tea and some hot tea. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Today, it's only me. No guest today, so we'll be coming from my setup, studio, office area, whatever it is you want to call it. Because no guest was booked this week. But nevertheless, when it's only me, it won't be an hour episode, because who's really gonna pay attention to all that? And then, let alone, you all have short attention spans anyway. So, that's a whole thing too. So, without any further ado, if you can tell by the title today, we are discussing freeing your mind, which deals with inner peace, deals with how to not miss out on life. Because as you can see, there's a lot of things that's going on in life and everything like that. And there's a lot of things that, it's kind of, for most of you, it's probably scary. Some of you, no surprise. Christians, you read your Bible, or you go to church and you listen to the same thing, things, natural disasters, etc., etc. I'm not a minister yet, but yeah, that kind of tends to scare you guys a little bit. But nevertheless, though, today is not about that. It's about finding your peace, entering your peace. And there's a lot of things. Take it from me, I just found peace like late last year, and thank God I found my peace. Thank God I have my peace. And by any means necessary, some things you learn a little early in life, like in your 20s. Sometimes you learn in your 30s. Sometimes you learn in your 40s. Sometimes you learn in your 80s. Maybe 5. But nevertheless, it's never too late to learn. So, as I said, freeing your mind. I want you to take this and just imagine something, okay? Imagine that you have these weights. Imagine that you have a backpack on. And in this backpack, you have weights. You have weights but it's not just weights. You have a number of weights. You have weight that holds, you have a weight for anger. You have a weight for guilt. You have a weight for trauma, grief, animosity, sadness, fear, etc. Whatever the weight may be, you're holding on to it. Now, that grief one, that's a little bit different. We'll just set aside that. But let's just imagine it's a weight. Okay? It's a weight. And you're just holding on to this weight every day. Now, imagine you have to carry that weight every single day. And every day, it affects your life somehow. It's like, you might be in a groggy mood. You might be in an angry mood. You might treat people who are trying to be nice to you a whole nother way. You might do something wrong. You might, in some cases, sin. Sometimes you might get into things you don't want to get in. Sometimes karma, etc. Things can happen. But just imagine now. Now you have those weights. Now imagine little by little, you just decide to drop those weights. You decide to set them aside. I'll work out with them. Just set them aside. You're just goodbye to the weight. Goodbye to that weight. Goodbye. And all of a sudden you start feeling lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. And all of a sudden it's just like, whoa, I feel so much better now. It's like you can move around more. You can do more. You feel more energized. You feel more, yeah, I could do this if I wanted to. I could do this, blah, 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 etc. That's what I imagine my life to be, and I'm sure that you can do it too. Now look, it sounds easier than it is, but the way you do it, it takes time. Understand this. Everything I'm going to tell you guys tonight takes time. It happens. Things take time. But you deal with them a little by a little. That's up to you and your time management. How you let things, how you decide to handle the weights, how you decide to wait it out, etc. So you got like, take one. Take like guilt. Think of something that makes you feel guilty, something that you've done that you can't forgive yourself for. You take all the necessary steps, whatever it is you have to go through, whether it's talking to somebody, talking to somebody, going to different types of facilities like therapy, psychology, talking to a friend, going to church, praying, etc. However you choose to deal with each of these weights, it's completely up to you. But trust me, it's a great feeling when you deal with them. Because just imagine, heaviness is not just a natural thing. It's a real feeling. And I know that. I felt it more when Granny died. But honestly, it's a weight. It's a weight. And you can really feel it. Probably not naturally, but spiritually. You can feel it. And you're going to be in so much. It's going to show. Trust me. I have pictures where it's shown on my face. The heaviness I was carrying. And sometimes you don't heal right away. Sometimes you don't heal for, you can heal. And everybody's different. I believe that everybody, no matter what race, gender, how you identify yourself, title, labels, etc., whoever you are. All right, everybody, has things. Everybody goes through things. Everybody is different, and everybody deals with things differently. With grief, sometimes somebody can grieve the same person, but not grieve the same way, which I try to explain to my siblings, but that's a whole another story. And like I said, grief is another thing in its own self. However, though, I want you to think about each of those ways. Even if you have to write things down, write down whatever you feel like is holding heaviness and all this against you, and you just decide, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. Because look, the longer you deal with that, the more you kind of miss out on life. You miss out on things, and I have done that. I have missed out on things, opportunities, because of heaviness. Sometimes my stubbornness can also be a weight too. Like I said, things take time. You take your own time to deal with those things and deal with them however you want to. But in a nutshell, each of those ways you can deal with on your own. Whether it's trauma, I know trauma is a difficult subject for some people to discuss. I know it's different. I know it's hard. It could be childhood trauma. It could be divorce trauma. You might have gone through, assault and all these other things. And I'm not saying heal right away, but healing too. In a nutshell, I'm trying to say healing is a great thing. Healing is a great tool. Healing is hard. It is hard, but once you do it, you can help other people heal, and it'll make you feel good. It'll heal your heart to help other people. It's a great thing. It's a great feeling. I'm trying to tell you. However, though, there are a couple things that I have kind of come to how I dealt with certain points. It's only 3 points because we only have a minimal amount of time, even though it's my show, but still we have a little bit of time because I know you guys don't have long attention spans. So a couple things how I deal with things. Okay, the first one is let it be. The past has died. The past has no way of coming back. I don't care what happened. I don't care who did it. I don't care how it happened. There's no way for you to go back and change that. Now, when it comes to certain relationships, and that's not just man and woman. I mean, like, it could be friendships. It could be family ships. I made up that word. Trademark. It could be anything. It could be relationships with your mom, with your dad, with your children, with your aunt, uncle, best friend of 25 years that you just decided to cut off because she might have did something evil. That's a whole another thing. And like I said, healing takes time. However, though, what I've learned and what I had to process in my mind. Now, some of this I had to forcefully do, but I just had to. I let it be. Even if you was right. And there is, and believe it or not, y'all, there's a Bible verse that says that. Even if you were right, forgive that person, or what is it? Forgive that person or something like that. When I find it, I'll probably come back to it. However, though, and let it be. It happened. Okay? No matter how you feel, you can't go back and change the past. I learned that. I learned it the hard way. No matter what happened, I can't go back and change it. You can't go back and change it. None of us can go back and change the past. And if anybody could, it would be God. But he's not going to do that. Because, how? You think about that. That's the sun that has to go back. That's the moon that has to go back. Everything will be backwards. And then, what would be your point? You could change things. You could change in the past. But how about your present? And how about your future? Why not change that? Why not change that so that you can live a better life? So you don't miss out on life and the blessings that comes with it. There's a lot of things in life, that you can come to, that you can realize, you know what, I want this for me. Keep that in mind, that you want this for you. And there are ways that you can do it, but let me get to the next point before I go into that aspect. Next part is to let go. It happened. It sounds easier than it is. Let it go. And like I said, things take time. Now, there are certain experiences that I love, that I will discuss on this show. And I have one rule on my show, and it's don't mention names. Now, if the shoe fits, the shoe fits. You wear it. But I have had things happen. People who done me wrong. And let me tell y'all this too. When you move with love, it's a hard thing to do. Now, I didn't say I was perfect. And I didn't say I was, an angel or anything like that. I have faults. You have faults. Whether you choose to admit that or not, I will. I'm not ashamed. Anything I did in my past, I'm not ashamed of. And anything that happened, I'm not ashamed of. If I did it, I did it. If I said it, I said it. I pray for forgiveness because, things happen and sometimes it humbles you. I'm sorry, not everybody. Some people have their life humbling moments. And I have had those. I've had those a lot of times, actually. With that being said, though, let go, it sounds a little easier than it is, but it takes time. People have done me wrong. Prime example. I'm trying to think of one that won't really. Prime example. My grandmother was sick, and I'm sorry. If the shoe fits, it fits. I can't change that, but it's based off my experience. Before I say this, though, Cat Williams also said, if you wanted me to speak highly of you, you should have done me better. You cannot dictate. I don't care who you are, where you come from. You can't dictate how you made somebody feel, whether that was your intention or not. That's from their experience. That's from their point of advice. Of course, you can fix that with a conversation, but it takes two. But I had a situation when my grandmother was sick, and I got so excited. I was on the edge, y'all. And yes, I'm gonna talk about her, a lot on this program, and as the season goes by and more episodes come and all that, eventually it'll lighten up. And it has lightened up now, thank God, because I could have stayed in that place. But anyway, she was sick. She had a stroke some time ago, about a couple months before she passed away. And I got so excited because I was on the edge because I hadn't seen her in a month. I'm used to her calling my mother. If it's been at least a week, and I'm like, I'm coming, because I was excited. I'm attached to old people, and most of them are kind of gone now, but still, nevertheless. Anyway, I was excited. So she had this picture for me to copy, and I broke the frame because I got excited that somebody was coming with me somewhere else, and I broke the frame. I didn't mean to, but anyway, I had bought another frame, and I bought some flowers. I handpicked those flowers myself in Food Lion. I just said, oh, she like them. I had to leave them on the porch due to a family member who was taking care of her asked me to leave them on the porch, and then told my mother she didn't like the flowers or whatever. I'm sorry, lied to my mother or whatever. Now, when she passed, that hit more. Now, before that, it was like, I'm not really worried about what nobody else has said. However, though, when she passed, it hit harder, and I held on to that weight that I discussed earlier. I held on to that weight, and I was like, but eventually I got to a point where I let it go. It happened. I saw her sometime after that, but it happened. Things happened. And I can't change that. I can't change what in her mind made that happen. I can't change, what happened. I can't change what I did or whatever. However, I decided to let go. As time went on, and there are things you deal with it how you deal with it. Anything I'm telling you, I did not deal with necessarily the right way or deal with it. I just kind of let it be. But like I said, you deal with things in your own way and try to do it in a positive light. But the third point I have is to let God. And I thank God that my mom, grandparents, and all these different people in my life really had these Christian values over it. They really kept these values and Christian things in life, because I see everything spiritual. Like everything, how I live my day-to-day life, everything I do, everything I watch, everything I sing, everything I play, every time I work, anything, I see it all spiritual, some way, somehow. And I connect that. I connect some things, you be surprised. Those of you that don't know, I'm obsessed with television. So there's a lot of different programs I watch, some of them not really Christian based, but I can relate them to Christian values, if that makes sense. So, yeah, but let God. Listen, God can do things to people. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say can do things to people. I'm going to say he can take care of things better than we can. And there is such a thing called karma. There is such a thing called you reap what you sow. No matter who you are, where you come from, whether you're religious or not, you will reap what you sow. That means if I reap hate, I'm going to receive hate. If I reap love, I'm going to receive love. See, that's just an example. If I say something wrong to somebody, if I treat somebody bad, it's going to come back on me. Probably 10 times harder. That's what they usually say, and I think that's in the Bible, but I'm not too sure. However, you will reap exactly what you sow. And things happen. And, you live and you learn. I mean, be real. Like I said, I'm not perfect or whatever, but, things, you live how you learn. There are things that you can do, though, to maintain your peace. Maintaining your peace is a really tough one. And like I said before, when you love, when you move with intentions of loving and caring, things kind of hit you a little harder. And that don't mean, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, that don't mean I'm sad. That just means, I'm not a person whose feelings get hurt. I'm not gonna care. I'm not that type of person. You can say the most hateful thing to me, I'm not gonna care, because I have that confidence in me, and you can build up that confidence too in you. That hey, I am somebody. Hey, God destined me to be somebody. Hey, I'm going to be something when I grow up. Hey, I'm going to be, and this is for kids too, but adults or whatever. I'm going to be blah blah blah, etc. You keep that in your mindset and that confidence, and you can move through life like so much easier, so much more. Who cares? People say things, but they will reap what you sow. Don't miss out on your blessings because you said something, because you did something, or you reacted, and yes, I have reacted before, and I'm going to react. I mean, well, no, I'm not. I take that back. In the past, I would have reacted. However, reaction can mess up things too, believe it or not. And yes, life is not fair. You can't win all the time. And some of us don't, and we just don't. You don't. But you can't win all the time. However, though, like I say, let God. You know, there are things that you can do to maintain your peace. You don't have to necessarily cuss out nobody. People know. I always say this to adults. Always know what they're doing. I don't care how old the adult is, unless they have some type of dementia or some type of, special need. They know what they're doing. Like, they do. The brain works. It's amazing how it works. It's amazing how it processes and everything. It knows what it's doing. That means that person knows what they're doing. Each and every time, they know what they're doing. Keep that in mind. So, with that, find things that help you maintain your peace, whether it's isolation, and I don't mean like stay in isolation. I mean it like isolate yourself where you're like, I don't want to deal with the world. I don't want to deal with the negative things. I want positive people around me. Keep positive people around you. Find your hobbies. Find things that make you happy. Don't be ashamed about it. Keep things that make you happy. Keep things that make you enjoy life. Keep things that make you... And you don't have to explain that to nobody. Understand that. You don't have to explain any of that to anybody. Because what I've learned, people don't like people that's different. It's a really dumb statement at the same time, but they don't. People do not like people that is different from them. And that's fine. They don't have to like it. Like, I don't care. Here, if it's one thing I'm going to say about me and I don't care, is I'm misunderstood. And there's a lot of things and people and public figures, etc., that are misunderstood. I really believe that the Lord is also misunderstood. However, no. One thing I'm going to do in life is I'm going to live a life nobody understands. The things I do, the way I do things, the way things happen. Sometimes you can't make people see what they don't want to see. And, things like that, it happens. But, live your life. Live your life how you want to. Try to do it the right way or whatever. I highly recommend, if you don't have one already, read a devotion book. Devotion books tend to help you with that. Read your Bible. I need to get back on that. I do. Actually reading the Bible, not just his devotions and everything like that. But find you things that keep your peace. Keep your mind sane. Keep you a good person. Keep you doing right. Keep you doing things that make you feel good. That make your heart happy. And whether that's helping the people, whether it's being there for somebody, it could be something easy. It could be coloring. It could be taking pictures. It could be art. It could be animals, the zoo, or anything like that, or puzzle pieces, or Legos, etc. It could be anything like that. Anything that makes you happy and keeps your peace, hold on to it. And I'm not kidding. Like, trust me, these are all steps, and I could really go further, but we're kind of running out of time here because, as I said, this is kind of my show, but you guys have really short attention spans. So, anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Waddy Talk. You guys have been a great support. I'm really surprised. Let's try to get those subscribers up, though. That's a Wrap Broadcasting. This is a production of That's a Wrap Broadcasting, and that is my broadcasting network. Yes, it's kind of on the ground right now, but it'll come up eventually if I keep on doing what it is what I'm doing. So, so thank you for the continuous support to all. Look, it seemed like 300 of you or whatever. So, and if it's way less than that, hey, thanks to you too. Like, I'm not that type of dude. I'm not gonna dish that. Social media is fake. Like, I can have all the views in the world and have 6 likes. So, just imagine 6 people are coming to me with positive things to say, positive vibes and all that too. I thank y'all for that. I really do. Like, it's amazing. Amazing to me. And like I said, eventually, if this show gets big enough, we'll have merch and everything like that. And I would like to thank all of you like that by sending out merch and all these different things that I could have etc. You know, and all that. However, this show is not that big yet, so you know, kind of that, and you know, let the year go on. The year just started, so keep that in mind too. With your piece, the year just started. Things take time, okay? So that being said and done, thank you for tuning in to the Waddy Talk this week. Catch me next week on whatever it is I talk about next. I don't predict them things. Things just kind of happen. Find me on Instagram. TikTok is about to be banned, so you guys are kind of messed up on that. So, however, until then, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Waddell Richardson. If you are listening via Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, etc., you can subscribe to the YouTube channel or subscribe to the station, I guess, right here, the Waddy Talk, and on YouTube it's That's a Rap Broadcasting, or you can type in the Waddy Talk and it'll show up there too. And then find us on Instagram at Waddell Richardson and at the Waddy Talk podcast. Get those followers up too. Like I said, this ain't no big show, but hey, I'm proud of the 12 followers I got now. I'm not worried about that. So, yeah. And then Facebook is also That's a Rap. I think it's That's a Rap Broadcasting. I think it might just be That's a Rap. But either way, you'll find it some way, somehow. It's a black. It legit is a black picture with That's a Rap on it, literally. So, but until next time, I will catch you guys next week on the Waddy Talk podcast. Thank you for continuing to listen. This hat, by the way, is made by my coworker. Her name is Mirra. Hats by Mirra. I'll put her information down at the bottom if you're watching on YouTube. If you want to check out the hat, and you're listening again through audio, wherever you get your podcast, you might want to head over to YouTube to see the hat. I know what some of you are thinking. Oh my gosh, he looks like a girl. Blah blah blah. Guess what? I look like my mom, so I ain't worried about it. I'm a dude. I'm a dude, and you gonna know it. So that being said and done, though, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you all next week on the Waddy Talk.
I was making racks, I was counting stacks. Every day I would try to figure out what last. I was always think about your whole damn past. Wondering she think about that same nigga that would make it crash. You a goof, I was in this whole spoof. Never understand how them and them got in this whole loop. That's if you said we forever is